Andrew Leigh, The Shortest History of Economics. Prepare to embark on a thrilling journey through human history, stepping into the intricate world of economics with Andrew Leigh's The Shortest History of Economics. From the emergence of Homo sapiens in southern Africa to the rise of specialized labor and trade, Leigh navigates the profound evolution of human societies and their economic foundations. Discover how crucial innovations like surplus production, money, and trade based on comparative advantage laid the groundwork for modern economics. Delve into transformative inventions such as the printing press, which democratized knowledge and fueled innovation, and explore the impact of urbanization and industrialization on societal development. This book summary distills complex economic theories and pivotal historical moments into accessible insights, offering a window into how economic forces have sculpted human civilization over millennia. Ready to connect the dots between past innovations and present economic systems? This summary is your guide to understanding the forces that have shaped the world we live in today.
Dawn of Economics. About 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens emerged in southern Africa, showcasing remarkable innovation with complex language, art, and early social structures. Over time, our ancestors crafted tools like spears, bows, and even simple boats by 65,000 years ago, aiding their nomadic lifestyles. They traversed vast lands, searching for food and moving on when resources dwindled, defining our early history with this way of life. The true shift began around 10,000 BC with the agricultural revolution. Nomadic hunter-gatherers settled into farming communities, introducing the concept of surplus production. This allowed them to store food, stabilizing consumption despite seasonal variances. With stockpiled resources, humans faced reduced food insecurity, providing a more consistent living standard. However, there were downsides. Early farmers often experienced limited diets and heightened disease risk due to denser populations. But surplus enabled specialization, leading individuals to hone specific skills like toolmaking or crafting pottery. This specialization spurred productivity and ignited trade as people exchanged their unique goods and services. Trade's expansion birthed a major breakthrough: money. Serving as a unit of account, store of value, and medium of exchange, early money ranged from metals to carved stones. This innovation simplified complex trades, enabling societies to flourish by exploiting comparative advantage, where individuals or groups excel in their strongest pursuits. This cooperation boosted productivity and laid the foundation of human economic development. Together, these landmark innovations, surplus production, consumption smoothing, specialization, money, and trade via comparative advantage, transformed disparate tribes into intricate, linked civilizations, capable of incredible achievements and setting the stage for modern society. Knowledge Revolution. Imagine a time when a single book cost an entire year's salary, reserved only for the societal elite. That all changed around 1440 with the advent of the printing press. This groundbreaking invention didn't just change the way text was reproduced, it sparked an economic overhaul. The movable types dramatically reduced book production costs, transforming books from luxury items into everyday commodities affordable within a week's wages. This democratization of knowledge unleashed a tidal wave of innovation across Europe, ultimately fueling centuries of economic growth. But the story of economic transformation starts even earlier, with the creative use of waterways. Trade flourished as rivers and seas became bustling trade routes. Take China's Grand Canal, an engineering marvel spanning over 1,600 kilometers, knitting together vast regions into a cohesive economic network. Coastal giants like Venice and Lisbon became epicenters of global trade. Venice pioneered risk-sharing agreements for sea voyages, while Lisbon became a springboard for explorers due to its strategic location. Unlike tangible goods, ideas operate under a different economic principle known as non-rivalry. Share a skill and both parties retain the knowledge. This property of ideas was crucial in propelling new industries and fields. When literacy rates soared, so did the collective intellectual capacity, allowing breakthroughs in one domain to echo into others. However, this explosion of knowledge required new economic frameworks to encourage creation while facilitating widespread dissemination. Venice's 1474 patent statute exemplified early attempts to balance innovation's rewards and the benefits of shared knowledge, offering inventors temporary rights in exchange for sharing their groundbreaking ideas. Engines of change. Before the Industrial Revolution, the world turned slowly toward economic progress. For countless generations, people experienced only marginal improvements in living standards, despite a gradually growing population. Everything shifted dramatically in the 18th century, as innovations erupted in England and spread across the globe. This was not merely a series of isolated improvements but a self-reinforcing cycle that fueled further advancement. The essence of this transformation lay in agriculture, where new techniques released countless laborers from the fields, allowing cities to swell with these new urban citizens. Urban centers thrived as hubs for commerce and innovation, driving yet more breakthroughs and fueling the interconnected machine of progress. Consider the steam engine, a catalyst that powered more efficient mining, making coal cheaper and more accessible. This very coal then fueled additional steam engines, which energized factories and drove the relentless cycle of industrialization and urbanization forward. In the midst of this revolution, Adam Smith's seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, unveiled the idea of the invisible hand. This notion described how individual pursuit of self-interest could inadvertently yield societal benefits within a free market system. In such markets, personal ambitions led to the production of goods and services valued by others, as if some unseen force orchestrated these outcomes. Smith's insights revealed how decentralized markets could effectively generate wealth. Building on these themes, John Stuart Mill introduced pivotal economic concepts. He proposed the model of Homo economicus, which depicts humans as rational agents driven by self-interest, helping economists predict economic behaviors and shape policies. Although a simplification, it underscores how individuals tend to respond predictably to incentives. Mill also introduced the notion of opportunity cost, emphasizing that each decision forgoes the next best alternative. For instance, choosing to attend university entails not only paying tuition but also sacrificing potential income from a full-time job, highlighting the real costs in a world marked by scarcity. Simultaneously, the Industrial Revolution's dark side emerged, manifesting in urban poverty and harsh working conditions. The Poor Laws, amended in 1834, aimed to address these issues by instituting a parish-based relief system. Key to this were workhouses, offering food and shelter in return for labor. Yet, their intentionally harsh conditions often resulted in cruelty and counterproductivity, deterring all but the most desperate. These intertwining economic ideas and social challenges define the Industrial Revolution, continuing to shape our understanding of economics. They teach us that progress, while attainable, is filled with complex trade-offs and unintended consequences. Economic shifts and legacies. During World War I, the world witnessed its first fully industrialized conflict, triggering not only immense human and geopolitical upheaval but also setting the stage for significant economic challenges. In its wake were cataclysmic events like the burden of Germany's reparations and the hyperinflation that followed, leading to the 1929 stock market crash and the ensuing Great Depression, which rippled across global economies. As the world grappled with this crisis, two opposing economic ideologies surfaced, shaping global discourse for decades. John Maynard Keynes emerged with a revolutionary vision advocating for proactive government involvement in the economy. He championed the idea of increased public spending to jumpstart economic recovery, suggesting that governments should enhance their spending on public infrastructure and other programs to spur demand and job creation. To illustrate his theories, Keynes compared the economy to a beehive, where the thriftiness of one bee could potentially lead to widespread hardship in the hive, highlighting the potential ripple effects of individual actions on the collective. In stark contrast stood Friedrich von Hayek, who perceived economic recessions as essential periods of correction that cleansed the economy of misguided investments. Hayek argued that low interest rates led to poor investment decisions, advocating for the failure of these investments as a necessary step toward economic renewal. He saw government interference as a potential risk, fearing it could stall inevitable adjustments, which in turn could lead to long-term economic imbalances. Delving deeper, these contrasting views can be traced to broader philosophical differences. Keynes, embodying an optimistic cosmopolitan worldview, entrusted governments with the task of mitigating economic fluctuations. Hayek, with a more austere perspective, warned against the potential stifling of individual freedoms through excessive governmental intervention. Advances in economic analysis during this era, such as national income accounting, provided a methodical approach to evaluating a nation's economic performance. Innovators like Arthur Bowley, Colin Clark, and Simon Kuznets devised techniques to calculate economic indicators like gross national product, GNP, enabling enhanced policy interventions and facilitating international comparisons. After World War II, the landmark Bretton Woods Conference established a new global economic framework aimed at averting the isolationist pitfalls that had deepened the Great Depression. The formation of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, alongside a modified gold standard framework, aimed to bolster global economic stability and promote international trade, paving the way for robust post-war economic growth. In this evolving landscape, central banks rose in prominence as pivotal entities in national economic management. Economic evolution and inequality. Imagine a world grappling with runaway inflation, wreaking havoc on economies as it did in Hungary post-World War II. Policymakers, eager to prevent such chaos, began seeking more agile monetary tools. The solution involved abandoning the restrictive gold standard, which had shackled economies during crises. By the 1980s, central banks worldwide were gaining autonomy, freeing themselves from political meddling that often skewed interest rates to suit election agendas, thereby triggering volatile boom and bust cycles. New Zealand sparked a revolution in 1990, setting a precedent by mandating its central bank to maintain inflation within a narrow band. This novel inflation-targeting approach caught on globally, with most nations now aiming to keep inflation around 2% annually. Central banks turned to interest rates as their chief instrument for steering the economy, lowering rates to spur spending and investment, and raising them to dampen an overheated economy. Navigating this delicate balance demands foresight and precision from central bankers, who must preempt economic trends, a task easier said than done. Meanwhile, fresh economic theories were reshaping the landscape as well. Justin Ifu Lin, an influential economist, posited that developing nations flourished by meshing market principles with strategic state interventions. He emphasized that choosing industries with natural advantages and backing them with infrastructure and research investment was central to the meteoric rise of East Asian economies. Echoing his insights, Mariana Mazzucato from University College London underscored the invaluable contributions of government-funded missions to technological advancements, citing the Internet as a prime illustration of state-driven innovation. Notably, as the global economy expanded, unease about inequality grew. Economist Branko Milanovic, hailing from Serbia, provided a sobering analysis of income distribution worldwide. His research spanned from 1980 to 2016 and painted a stark picture. While the global middle class, particularly in booming regions like China and India, witnessed significant income boosts, the middle class in established economies stagnated or declined. Simultaneously, the income of the top echelons, notably the top 1%, surged exponentially. Milanovic's findings highlighted the multifaceted impacts of globalization and technological advancement on various global demographics. Key factors shaping equality included educational opportunities, union presence, taxation systems, and the interplay between economic growth and capital returns.
Andrew Leigh's The Shortest History of Economics offers a concise yet comprehensive exploration of economic evolution, shedding light on the profound transformations that have propelled humanity from nomadic tribes to interconnected global markets. The journey from surplus production to specialization, and from money to trade, reveals the bedrock principles that fueled societal progress and innovation. Key inventions like the printing press revolutionized information dissemination, catalyzing leaps in knowledge and industry. The narrative culminates with the contrasting economic philosophies of Keynes and Hayek, illustrating the persistent debate over government's role in economic stabilization. As central banks and economic development theories continue to influence today's global economic landscape, this book reminder that understanding our economic past is essential to shaping a more equitable future. Leigh invites readers to reflect on these pivotal economic shifts and consider their implications in navigating current challenges like inequality and globalization.